What's up, you guys? It is AvrillR32 here, bringing you guys a ban list discussion video. Real quickly, I want to apologize about the camera angle. It's like that. I don't know why my tripod is being a bit difficult. And also, I just said also twice. I want to apologize for my voice real quick. It's been sore for the past few days, so you guys probably couldn't tell in my last video. I'm a good actor, what can I say? So I might have a bit of a monotone voice, but I'm going to try and keep it as upbeat as I can. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit long. So I suggest that if you're watching this on your tablet or your phone or something, if you're like sitting in like a little comfy couch, prop up the footrest, maybe get some popcorn, a drink, a water, soda, whatever. Sit back and relax. If you're watching this on your PC, don't worry, headset users, because I don't plan on yelling at all. So, turn me up so that you can hear me if you have like a headset on, if you're at a PC or something. I don't really ask for much, you guys. So if you don't mind, before leaving a rating, I know this is gonna sound shocking, but before you leave a rating or a comment about this video, whether it'd be a dislike, if you want to like it just because you like me and you want to like the video, I thank you so much for it. It does help me out tremendously. But I'm not going to spam likes and favorites at the beginning of this video. This video is meant to discuss the ban list in a logical, statistical way. Please hear what I have to say before you make a comment and you decide what you want to say in the comments below on this video. I don't really ask for much, so if you wouldn't mind just hearing me out first before you make a comment, I would greatly appreciate it. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoy the video, so sit back, relax, and let's get into this video. Like I said, you might want to turn me up a little bit because my voice, I'm really not going to be able to talk that loud. And I got a water because I'm a whale. So let's get started. I have a few notes, so I'm going to probably be reading off of my notes, just keep everything smooth and whatnot. And I also have the ban list right here on my tablet, my iPad, so I might be looking down a little bit. But let us begin. Oh, whoops, that is the wrong thing. Here are my notes, and that's not it. Let me pull up the video. Here we go. So I have the ban list right here. I'm just gonna, kind of read it off. First, I do want to discuss a bit about the list first. I studied the ban list. After all the shock and all the insaneness, happened, I sat down and I really studied the list and I really analyzed it. A lot of people are saying, Patrick Hoban had a say in this list. He created this list. I have nothing against Patrick Hoban. If he really did influence this list, Patrick, I don't know why you would do this to other Yu-Gi-Oh players. You've definitely greatly upset a lot of people. But it's really nothing to send death threats to the guy about. I don't think anyone's sent death threats to him about it. If someone has, then they must be really passionate about this game. But at the end of the day, you gotta remember that this is a game that we all love and enjoy, no matter how much certain decks piss us off, i.e. E-Dragons. So I'm just gonna be reading from this a little bit here, like I said, but I'm gonna try and be, looking up and down as much as I can. So anyways, these are just some notes, and I wrote a few sentences here and there. So upon analysis of the ban list, I noticed one common variable. In each listing, limited, unlimited, etc., they hit or gave support to essentially every deck ever played since 2008, pretty much. When you look at the whole list, when you look at the list as a whole, you notice that some cards they hit were generic, whether that was purposeful or not. I don't know what they were trying to go with the list, to be honest. It looks like they are trying to lean towards OTKs and more of a control-based format. I know September formats are usually slower, so keep that in mind. That may be why they did what they did with this TCG list. Keep in mind, I am discussing the TCG list. I guess I should have said that at the beginning of the video, but I'm sure you guys had already assumed. So I'm like I was saying about Gladiator Beasts. Gladiator Beasts back in 2008 were somewhat trap heavy, I would say. I would say back in their prime, I would say they were probably the most trap heavy deck next to Gadgets. Gadgets were very rogue though. They're, not really to the wayside, but people didn't really care about them. So as meta-wise, I think they pretty much ran, you know, the most traps. They ran the triple solemn, they ran the 3 bottomless, they ran 3 war chariots. You know, you had all that. They were very trap heavy because they needed to be so that they could be able to get off their plays with Guy Zeros, Heraclinos, etc., etc. Excuse me, see, it's already happening. Then we also had, you know, what else was there? We had we had these decks like you know, elemental dragons that, you know, ran no traps at all, but they hit generic stuff like Heavy Storm, Darkhold, Monsterborn that were used in these decks. I know Vexy kind of put it well when they were saying, you know, they don't want us to be using all these old cards, they want us to be using new things that are coming in the future. Like Judging the Light cards, they want us to do stuff like that. They're tired of us, you know, using these old cards. And the Trinity's now destroyed because we lost Heavy Storm and Monster Reborn. Just to give an example, Stratos got banned, but they brought Malicious back to 3. In my opinion, they kind of did this in a way to kind of balance out the power of heroes. They lose something crucial, i.e. Stratos, but they gain something small. In this case, when talking about heroes, they gained back 1 Malicious, they lost their 1 Stratos, which was very crucial. If they would have left Stratos alone and they brought Malicious back to 3, it would have created a lot of broken plays. You could summon the Stratos, you could get your Malicious to your hand, you could activate Destiny Draw, get rid of your Malicious. I'm sorry, my phone's going off. You could get rid of the Malicious, banish the Malicious to play another one, and you know, if you were running, say for example, a double summon, you could double summon and summon a Plague Spreader, Synchro, and it's just, it created a lot of busted plays. The same thing happened in Teledad. Teledad, it was so insane, even in Diamond Dew Turbo. Although I believe Diamond Dew Turbo was 2007. Don't quote me on that though. I've only been playing, I went to my first locals in 2008, so I guess you can kind of say that's when I started playing competitively. Other decks though, they completely killed, i.e. Dragon Rulers. And some might even say Gravekeepers. That's just kind of a own little personal thing. The Gravekeepers are still a deck, they just lost their 1 tribute. Like I said, they hit pretty much every deck that's ever been played under the sun. Gravekeepers, Dragon Rulers, Heroes, you name it, the list goes on. While many other decks, they hit more than they hit others, like I just said. You know, they banned all the baby dragons, they completely killed Dragon Rulers as a deck. Like most people have realized by this point that the Dragon Rulers themselves, Blaster, Tempest, and all that, were meant to be in their specific genre of, what do you call it, attribute. Tempest was supposed to be with the winds, Blaster was supposed to be with the fires, and, you know, you get the point. And then I have my example here. For example, you might say Heroes got hit more than Dark World because they lost their crucial Stratos, but they gained back a Hero Lives, E-Call, and Malicious. Whereas Dark World, they lost an Eradicator and they lost their card destruction. Other than that, though, they didn't really get hit much. I guess you could say Monster Reborn, but that was really a staple in most decks, along with Heavy Storm as well. Excuse me. I'm sorry, you guys, I've been sick. And also, I really don't mind if you're not actually watching me on the video. You can be on Facebook or something. As long as you're listening to me, I greatly appreciate it. So those are all my notes, just to kind of get that out of the way. But going back to the actual list, as I had already said in my notes, they banned all the babies. This completely kills the Dragon Ruler deck. I think a lot of people expected this from the OCG. People expected a lot of things from the OCG list. They expected, you know, just everything under the sun. You know, they expected, you know, our list to be exactly the same as theirs and all that. Stratos, like I said, I already discussed it. They hit everything under the sun, which is why I think they made some of the decisions that they made partially was because that, you know, they want to start fresh with this. You know, when we look back at what Konami said, they said that you know, big changes are coming to the game. One of the most obvious ones when first looking at the TCG list is that this list is only going to be 3 months long before we get a new one, which kind of sucks because personally I didn't want that. I feel that cards are going to get cycled out quicker like Magic, but that's a different video for a different time. Number 16, Shockmaster. I could kind of see this because a lot of people were saying when it first came out, this card is a cold wave, it's very broken. You're right, it is very broken, especially, that's also why they banned Ultimate Offering. I think they could have just banned Ultimate Offering and been fine, but there are still those decks that can spam triple level 4s very quickly. Like in Ultimate Offering gadgets, when Ultimate Offering was at 3, you could spam all these gadgets and then exceed into 3 Shockmasters and call spells, traps, and a prank monster effects and completely shut down your opponent, and it wasn't fun. So I think banning Shockmaster was a good call. I think banning the Baby Dragons was a good call. Stratos, it really did hurt hero players, and I'm very sorry for you guys for losing your Stratos. But where there's a will, there's a way. That's all I can really say. Card destruction. This hurt multiple decks, so you know, if they really want to move from, you know, using old cards and, you know, moving, if they really want to make us use new stuff, and they really do want to make sure that all these older decks kind of die off, I guess is what they're trying to accomplish. Card destruction was definitely a good way to go. It won Nationals. Patrick Coban won Nationals with card destruction pretty much. That and Eradicator, which is why I'm so glad that that card got hit. I'm sorry to you guys that didn't want to see it hit. I'm sorry, but I'm so happy that it was hit. I was doing like a little happy dance last night in my chair when I saw that that was hit. So card destruction. It is a very broken card in certain decks. You know, Dragon Rulers could abuse it very well. Dark Worlds could abuse it very well. When you have a whole hand of Dark Worlds, and then you have the one card destruction, it destroys your opponent getting off all those combos. So it made sense. Gateway of the 6. Like Bexy said, you really didn't need Gateway of the 6. I can't really comment on it too much because I haven't played Samurai in forever. I haven't played against it in forever. It's just not something very popular around in my area. I'm sorry. Excuse me. But Gateway, it did provide a lot of plays. I think Samurais are going to have to be a little bit more control based now. That's just my opinion though. Heavy Storm and Monster Reborn, like I said, the Trinity's been destroyed. I kind of already touched on this. You know, you can now set 5 all day, and if you want to reborn monsters, you're either going to have to use Call the Hunter, which is now at 3, or you're going to have to use Autonomous Action Unit if you want to be able to get your opponent's monsters. So like Bexy said, you got to start using even older cards than these. You know, you got to start using cards like, you know, My Body, Call the Haunted, you know, just stuff like that. Pot of Avarice, a lot of people saw this coming in Shadow Specters where you Pot of Duplicity. You get to pick 3 monsters with different types from your graveyard, put them back into your deck, shuffle, and draw 2. But you have to do it at the start of your main phase 1. So I think a lot of people saw this coming. You know, it's okay. I really have no problems with it. You know, if it's got to happen, it's got to happen. I really have no problem with it. Spellbook of Judgment and Super Rejuvenation, I'm very happy with. Spellbooks were insane with that card. Same thing with Super Rejuve. I think this will kind of hurt the Blue Eyes structure deck a little bit because I know that some builds could use Super Rejuve, but I believe that they could also abuse it, just not as hard. Deep Draw Exodia was hurt now that Super Rejuve's banned. That was like their main draw engine. But that's more rogue anyway. Solemn Judgment and Ultimate Offering. I really don't like seeing Solemn Judgment banned. Ultimate Offering, I mentioned this last year in my other ban list when I believe it, or the last time that it got hit. I said, like, you know, it's got a condo in the forbidden list, it's got a beach house in the limited list. It's been all over the list over the years, so, you know, I'm if it happens, it happens. You know, I would have liked to see it stay at 1, and it hasn't really been abused, but if they feel that it needs to be hit, then it needs to be hit. But me personally, I don't feel like it should have been hit. Judgment, like I said, I'm not okay with. I like to be able to have the negation. So it does suck that card got hit. I'm really not okay with that. That's one of the main things that I did not like seeing get hit. I would have liked to see Heavy Storm stay around just so that you didn't have to deal with a set 5 back row. But other than Heavy Storm and Solemn Judgment, that's all the banned cards, by the way. But other than, I would say, Heavy Storm and Solemn Judgment, I think I really have no problems with you know, the forbidden cards. I would have also liked to see Monster Reborn. I can kind of see why it would be banned because it is really powerful being able to reborn just anything from either player's graveyard. So I mean, I can kind of see it. Don't really want to see it, but I kind of get where they're coming from. So now we have limited. A lot of cards. I'm going to try and go through this a bit quicker. Atlantean Dragoons. Like I said, back to my notes. They are trying to really hit every deck in order to keep everything balanced for the upcoming formats so that nothing really has an edge over everything, you know what I mean? So Dragoons was a good call. I know a lot of people wanted to see it. Spirit, I know Vexy wasn't quite familiar, so you know, Vexy, you haven't been watching this. Spirit, it really did create the plays. You really, even if Chicken went to 1, it didn't really matter, because as long as you got your 3 Spirit, then you're good to go. You can just summon the Spirit, get the Chicken, use Chicken to search another Spirit so that you can be ready for next turn. Sink into the Horse Prince. Horse Prince can get you a Leopard. Like, pretty much with the OCG's ban list, if you had a Tenki, a Tensu, and a Leopard, you were good to go. Even if you just had Tensu and Leopard, you were fine. But those are just combos. But pretty much, you just need a Tensu and Leopard, and you were good to go. With 1 Spirit now, you really only have that 1 shot to go off, and then you got to rely on your triple rekindling. But other than that, I really don't think 3 axes is going to be played that much. But like I said, where there's a will, there's a way. Deep Sea Diva, stop the synchro spam. I'm very happy with that. Birdman, there's apparently a Harpy FTK, and then the Divine Wind of Mist Valley Ninjas OTK. So I'm kind of glad that got hit to stop those FTKs. Iwashiki Mind August, a lot of people aren't familiar. Remember, there's the Gishki FTK where you would use Mind August to put 5 cards back and just keep on going until your opponent milled out. So putting this at 1, it completely kills the FTK. I would have liked to see this be banned and bring back 1 day piece to 3. That's just me. DeLorean. I know that some water builds were using it. It's somewhat of a broken card. I'm glad that this got hit to 1. Better to be safe now than have to worry about it later in the future. M7, I really don't see why they did this, but once again, it goes back to what I had said at the beginning of this video, how they hit cards to affect multiple decks. So they may have hit generic cards like Bottomless and Deepers and all that, but that affects multiple decks. Like I said about Gladiator Beast, they were somewhat trap heavy back in their prime. They had the triple Bottomless and all that, all these staples. Hitting those generic cards in a way hits those decks, instead of having to go out and make this list even longer by going through each single deck and hitting multiple cards. They can hit generic stuff to where they don't hurt the main archetype concept, like Monarchs, for example, which is what M7 was used in. It was used in Monarchs. So them hitting this, technically in a way, hits Monarchs, but it just doesn't absolutely kill the deck. They can just throw in another rank 6. It doesn't really matter. Sorry about that. Dimensional Fisher and Macrocosmos. I think that this is very nice because Angel Azera, in case you haven't seen Bexy's 19,500 life point video where he was just kept on removing from play cards, I think they want to see more cards go to the graveyard, which is a bit of an interesting concept. Be interesting to see how that works out in the future. But I'm happy with my cards not getting banished. Whenever I'm playing 3 axis, I don't like my stuff getting banished. I want it to go to the grave. Gold Sarcophagus. This in a way hurts multiple decks as well because it was used in some anti-meta decks like Final Countdown and all that, and some rogue decks. Not really Chain Burn, but some other kind of burn decks. This hurts Dragon Rulers even more. So like in case they weren't in the grave deep enough, they just kind of like slam some rocks on top of them even more. Bottomless I kind of already covered. It hits multiple decks if that's what they're trying to accomplish. If that's the case. But I don't like seeing Bottomless at 1. I like to have the protection. Compulse, I don't really understand that. Like I said, I'm kind of just relying off of the fact that they're trying to hit multiple decks by hitting generic things. Eradicator, I'm so happy that's at 1. Macro, I already talked about. Soul Drain, I don't really see why. Like I said, goes back to the whole hitting generic thing. Thunder King and Torrential. Again, they're trying to really hit those anti-meta decks. Newly semi-limited, Mizuki and Plague Spreader, they're really trying to push zombies. This is an example where they are actually kind of giving support to older builds, or to older decks. So like they hit some, but then they also brought back support. Like I said with the Hero example, they hit Stratos, but they gave them back a lot of other stuff. So Mizuki and Plague Spreader help push the vampires and all that. And the Ghost Tricks. TG Striker 2, a lot of people have been asking for this. Fire Formation Tenki 2, this hurts 3 axis and Fire Fist in general. Pretty good because you can't search as much. D-Prison, like I said, generic. I guess they don't want to see stuff removed from play. Newly Unlimited, Malicious, already pretty much covered with the Hero example. Agent of Mystery Earth, giving support to older builds, or to older decks. I'm sorry, Tsukiyomi, no one cares. Sorry about that, you guys. Emergency Call, they lost Stratos. Raxiel Convocation, kind of just, giving support to older decks, like I said, and the E-Call, it balances out a little bit, with losing Stratos. And then Pot of Duality and Scapegoat. Pot of Duality to give extra support to those decks that got really hit. And Scapegoat because, it's Scapegoat. It gives support to Chainburn and all that. So, they gave support to every deck, and they also hit pretty much every deck in some way, shape, or form. So you guys, this is it. This has been just over a 20-minute long video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Please let me know in the comments about what you guys think. It'd be really interesting to see the discussion in the comments below. Be sure to rate, comment, and most importantly, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for all the support that you've been showing on the channel. I think I'm going to be taking a couple days off just so that I can be able to, heal up a little bit, because really my throat's been hurting, especially sore today. So, thank you guys again for everything. I truly appreciate it. I wouldn't be here without, well, I should say, not trying to kill myself. I wouldn't be here on YouTube without you guys supporting me each and every day, watching my videos, subscribing, rating, commenting, clicking and liking and favoriting, and just clicking those like buttons and all that fun stuff. So I'm gonna go finish my water. I might go take a nap. I don't know. I'm tired. I need to go respond to some comments probably, because I probably have jabillion comments. Thank you for watching to the very end. This is a very long video. I'm going to let you guys go because you guys are probably tired of me talking in a very monotone voice. So remember, thank you guys for watching, and let's go September ban list.